Okay, so kita masuk iaitu gas metal arc welding atau GMAW. Tadi GTAW, sekarang GMAW pula lah. Okay, sometimes refer to this subtype, okay, metal inert gas atau MIG, metal. So tadi kalau TIG guna tungsten, kalau MIG guna metal. Okay, so konsep yang sama, consumable wire, dia adalah form between a consumable wire electrode and the workpiece metal, which heats and piece metal, causing them to melt and join. Okay, along with the fire electrode, a shielding gas is fed through the welding gun, which shields the process for contaminants at the air. The process can be semi-automatic or automatic. Okay, ni boleh baca lah semua. Dia beritahu GMAW wasn't applied to steels because it allow for lower welding time compared to other welding process. So dia adalah lebih sesuai apply to steel lah. Jadi untuk steel kita mostly menggunakan GMAW lah. Okay, the cost of the gas limited is used in steels until several years later, when the use of the semi-inert gas such as carbon dioxide became common. Okay, so sekarang ni beritahu GMAW is the most common industrial welding process, preferred for its versatility, speed and the relative ease of adapting the process to robotic automation. Okay, so sekarang ni banyak menggunakan konsep robotic automation lah, menggunakan robot lah. Okay, unlike welding process that do not employ a shielding gas such as shield metal arc welding, it is rarely used outdoors or in other areas of air volatility. A relative process flux core arc welding often does not utilize a shielding gas. Instead employ a hollow electrode wire that is filled with flux on the inside. Okay, so kalau tengok kat sini, dia adalah contoh GMAW operation. For most of this application, gas metal arc welding, it is fairly simple welding process to learn, requiring no more than a week or two to master basic welding technique. Even when the welding is performed by well-trained operators, weld quality can fluctuate since it depends on the number of external factors. Okay, all GMAW is dangerous, thought perhaps less so that some other welding methods such as shell metal arc welding. Okay, so kalau tengok sini ada dia punya gambar rajah GMAW weld area. Okay, yang first tu direction of travel, yang kedua contact tube, yang ketiga adalah electrode. Okay, yang keempat shading gas, yang kelima molten weld metal, 6 solidified weld metal, dan 7 adalah workpiece. Okay, untuk GMAW ni, so macam dekat bengkel fabrikasi, kita akan ada lah, kita akan ada untuk metal lah, MIG ni lah, so kita akan guna metal sebagai dia punya electrode. Kalau TIG kita menggunakan tungsten, kalau MIG guna metal. Ingat semua yang tu lah, kena selalu ingat. Cuma yang ni dia tak menggunakan dua tangan. Kalau macam GTAW ataupun TIG, dia menggunakan dua tangan, satu torch dan satu lagi adalah awak punya electrode atau filler. Tapi untuk yang ni dia hanya menggunakan satu saja. So dia biasa dia akan tekan dia punya tu, so dia akan keluar dengan sendirinya iaitu metal, as dia punya apa cakap electrode lah. So untuk teknik dia kat the basic technique for GMAW is quite simple, since the electrode is fed automatically to the torch. So dia adalah secara automatik, bila awak tekan tu dia keluar je, dia keluar. Biasa kalau untuk yang GMAW ni memang mudah untuk kita buat tapping lah. Bila untuk buat tapping mudah. Untuk kita buat tapping, maksud tapping ni ikatan antara satu bahagian dengan satu bahagian lain. Kita tap dulu sebelum kita weld betul-betul, menggunakan semau ke kan. Macam itulah. Kalau projek yang untuk student memang adalah kena buat tab dulu. Kita tab dulu, masa kita lekatkan antara dua metal tu baru kita boleh buat welding guna semau. Macam itulah contoh. Tapi kalau kita guna semau boleh juga, tapi kalau guna jimau ni boleh jugalah. So untuk sebagai mempelbagaikan teknik, kita akan gunakan semau dan juga jimau. Beritahu, by contrast, in the gas instance of welding, the welder must handle a welding torch in one hand and a separate filler wire in the other. And in a shaded metal as welding, the operator must frequently chip off slack and change welding electrodes. Tu perbezaan ni lah. Jimau requires only the operator guide the welding gun with proper position and orientating along the area being weld. Keeping a consistent contact tip to work distance is important, because a long stick out distance can cause the electrode to overheat and will also waste shedding gas. Stick out distance varies for different jimau weld process and applications. The orientation of the gun is also important, because it should be held so as to bisect the angle between the workpiece, that is 45 degrees for a fillet and 90 degrees for the welding a flat surface. So ini boleh baca dah semua. So ini adalah contoh jimau equipment, simple atau kita boleh anggap dia sebagai satu lagi diberitahu spark score lah. Kalau saya kerja dulu, kita panggil sebagai spark score. To perform the gas method as welding, the basic necessary equipment is seperti adalah welding gun, a wire feed unit, a welding power supply, and electrode wire, and a shading gas supply. So kalau tengok kat gambar rajah ni adalah contoh di mana ada dia punya power supply, so dia akan interconnecting cable with the wire feeder. So ada dua lah, so yang bahagian power, dan dia akan connect dengan wire feeder. So wire feeder tu akan ada bergulung lah. Jadi metal tu dalam keadaan yang bergulung, and then bila kita tekan tu dekat bahagian MIG torch and cable, so kita akan tekan dia, so dia akan kuat automatically. Nanti saya akan tunjuklah video untuk menunjukkan MIG operation atau jimau operation macam mana. Jadi mudah, memang sangat mudah berbanding small dan juga TIG lah. So senang. So make sure workpiece, dan kita kena always clamp lah, iaitu earth clamp. So ada dua kabel lah, satu untuk yang power supply kepada punya wire feeder, sebab dia nak supply wire feeder kan, jadi kena ada power supply lah. Kita tak boleh buat secara manually. So dia akan connect, so akan hantarkan elektrik kepada wire feeder. So wire feeder tu akan memusingkan wire reel tu, and then dia akan interconnection with the MIG torch. MIG torch kita tekan, dia akan keluar je. And then untuk yang satu lagi, iaitu kita pakai earth cable untuk dia punya for the earthing. So kalau bila buat welding tu, kita kena make sure kena earth, kena orang cakap buat earthing pada workpiece tu, atau sampel tu lah. So welding gun and the wire feed unit, boleh tengok sini lah, dia punya tu. Yang first tu adalah torch handle, yang kedua mounted phenolic dielectric, yang ketiga adalah shading gas diffuser, 4 contact tip, dan juga 5 adalah nozzle output face. Contoh boleh tengok sini untuk for the cakap jimau torch head assembly, boleh tengok sini lah. Ada beberapa bahagian. So ada on off switch. Masuk on off switch ni, kalau tengok situ, bila kita tekan, awak punya yang filler tadi, yang dalam bentuk relung tu, dia akan keluar. So bila tu electrical dah ada panah, so dia akan supply, dia akan bila buat dekat workpiece, dia akan welding lah. Boleh tengok sini ada torch body, so torch head assembly, nozzles or shrots, gas diffuser, contact is juga spot welding spacer. Ini dekat dalam bahagian dalam lah. You boleh tengok G-mount fit unit. So dekat dalam tu kita akan letak dia punya filler wire spool dalam keadaan relung lah. So dia adalah metal. Dia punya material adalah metal. Jadi bila kita buat tu, kita akan boleh tengok lah sini ada plain top roller, half groove bottom roller dan juga wire guide. So dia akan continuous lah. Bila kita tekan yang tadi on off dekat torch tu, so dia akan bila kita tekan, dia akan pergi ke depan untuk welding. Ni boleh baca semua. G-mount circuit diagram, boleh baca. Ada welding torch. Yang kedua workpiece. Yang ketiga adalah power supply. Yang keempat wire feed unit. Yang kelima adalah short source, dan yang keenam adalah shading gas supply.
Hill or uphill, either one, usually it leaves a little fisheye, and you need to taper it back and grind it down, at least tapered this far. It wouldn't hurt a thing if I tapered this back another 1/4 of an inch to give myself a nice launching pad. But here's the back side of it. You can see it warming up. Gives it a chance to warm up before it consumes that thinnest part of it. And then if you taper it back far enough, you will have a nice smooth tie-in. You'll hardly be able to tell. All right, this was done without any stops and starts, and we're going to do the second pass now. Didn't really let it cool much, just long enough to get situated. This is the motion that you're going to see on that second pass, and I'm going to stop short of consuming that edge. I want to leave about a 1/16 there, and I want this thing to be about a 1/16 below flush for the cover pass. That's about ideal when you can do that. Now, some people would try to squeeze 2 fill passes in here before the cap, and you probably could. This is 30-degree bevels here, and I've done plate like this several years ago using 37.5-degree plates, and you could probably squeeze a total of root pass, 2 fills, and a cover pass on those. This would be difficult to get that many passes in, so I'm just shooting for 1 fill, and again, I'm stopping short about a 1/16 from the edge, pausing just a little bit, not spending a lot of time across the middle, and then using that technique and keeping the arc on the leading edge of the puddle. I'm not using a whole tremendous amount of gun angle here, just a slight push. The gun is kicked back just a little bit. Straight on works fine too. I've seen people even use a very slight drag, but you tend to get a little bit of a crowned fill pass when you use a slight drag. That one there is pretty flat. And that's a good thing, to have your fill passes as flat as possible. Makes the next pass go in better. I let it cool down to about 150 degrees or so, and shined it up a little bit with a wire wheel to get those silicon islands off of there. One more pass to go. Now this one is going to be almost the same exact technique as the prior pass. So you can do a straight Z-weave, or you can put just a little bit of an arch in the motion. But you want to hold those toes for just a count, come across the middle fairly quickly, and overlap those edges by just only about a 1/16 of an inch. All right, here we go. Again, gun angle, I'm going to be almost straight in, just kick back maybe 10 degrees. And usually if you shoot for straight in, you'll be about 10 degrees without even knowing it. That just seems to be a natural tendency for most people to start off straight, and as they travel upward, to kick the gun back a little bit. You can see there it's almost straight in, and that works just fine. Like, again, I think it's good to shoot for straight, and then you wind up being a good 10 or 15 degrees without even thinking about it, whereas if you shoot for 10 or 15 degrees, you might be 30 or more by the time you get up the plate. And as I already mentioned, it's about 1 second per going across. Let's see. Okay. All right. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. Just pretty close. Again, holding the toes just briefly and not spending a whole lot of time across the middle. I'm not bouncing from side to side. I'm just not going really slow. And then I'm trying to overlap those edges of the bevel just by about a 1/16 of an inch, and trying to do it the same each time. So all these things, if you do everything the same, what happens is you get a pretty uniform weld. The weave pattern is pretty uniform. The edges are straight, the edges are uniform, the height of the reinforcement is uniform. You know, you just kind of got to train yourself to do things uniformly. Be as much like a robot as you can, and the benefit is you're not a robot, so you can make little adjustments as you go. If you see a little bit of a high place or something, you can move a little quicker over that. You can notice the joint next to that is all cleaned up and ready to weld. That's in case I screwed up. It usually takes me more than one shot to get something going especially when I haven't done it in a while. So I'm going to do a little cut and etch on here just to see what happened in between root pass and the second pass, and in between the second pass and the cover pass. So after setting my shirt tail on fire with sparks going the other way, I decided to try holding the grinder like my buddy JD does. And got that cut out with one of those wheels. That's a Walter zip wheel, and I got a little bit left, so that wheel lasted a pretty long time. Usually I just hit it with a flap disc and then maybe one more step, maybe two more steps with some Scotch-Brite pads from 3M. And that's about fine enough for a etch. The finer you polish, the better quality etch. The quicker it etches, the better it etches, but this is plenty fine enough for a macro test where we're just looking for lack of fusion and things like that. We're not looking at microstructure. And so there you have it. You know, not anything jumps out at me anyway as far as lack of fusion in between passes. Could be a little bit more reinforcement on the root, but other than that, I think it did okay. Well, hey, thanks very much for hanging in there and watching. We'll